Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Cardinal Review. Today, this episode will be a little different because I am going to be taking a look at a few of my favorite Nintendo Switch controllers. That's right, John. You heard me right. We're going to be looking at my personal picks for the best Nintendo Switch controller. Zzz. Number one, obviously we have the classic, the JoyCon, right? The ones that come with a Switch. Of course, you don't get these. These are way cooler colors. Yeah, the JoyCon can leave a lot to be desired because you have this one thing, especially when you're playing retro games and you're trying to use a D-pad and it's just 4 buttons, other than this, the old Nintendo, Super Nintendo, beautiful D-pad that everyone knows and loves. It's such a great controller. Whatever happened to this controller? Anyways, how we got here mystifies me. But yeah, most people aren't gonna like this D-pad. That's my main problem with the Joy-Cons and just most of the Switch controllers in general. Get to the next one. So this is like my second favorite Switch controller. It might be most people's favorite Switch controller. It actually was my favorite until recently, and that is the Pro Controller. The Pro Controller is awesome. It is basically an Xbox One controller, essentially, but it's a little thinner. It has a little, I think it feels a little better to hold. I think the buttons, they're just less clicky, and I mean, it's just an all-around good controller, especially if you're playing like Overwatch or Doom or something like that on your Switch. Dude, you cannot go wrong with one of these guys. Now, the biggest problem with the Pro Controller is the D-pad. Again, remember what I said, the D-pad is always the problem with these. It's crazy because Nintendo created the best, they patented the D-pad. That's a patent. That's why, you don't see this plus sign on like a PS4 controller, or an Xbox has like the circle, or the PS4 has the split buttons, because Nintendo patented that design. Now, for some reason, they don't use that awesome D-pad anymore that was on the SNES and the NES controllers. That's so brilliant. And we had the 64, which didn't do very well with the D-pad. I mean, the D-pad was fine, but you couldn't really use it ever. When they transitioned into 3D games, they just were like, nobody wants to use the D-pad anymore. Now everyone wants to use a D-pad because retro stuff comes back. Like, all the time, they come back. That's what happens. So, this controller is almost perfect. I mean, if this D-pad was good, it would be my favorite controller ever made. But because this D-pad is funky, and let me tell you, if you want to know how funky this D-pad can be, go play Tetris 99, and when one of your little blocks accidentally goes down immediately and you're not hitting up, yeah, that's a big problem. So this guy can have some false inputs, basically. Which brings me to my next one. So you're like, I want a Super Nintendo controller that's also a Switch controller. That's the dream, baby. That's the dream. Well, I got the answer for you, buddy. 8-bit dough. Check it. Read it and weep. Weep. Hard H, like I always do. Now, if you can see, the 8-bit dough controller is basically, it's literally a SNES controller with joysticks. It's brilliant. So this actually works with your phone, PC, and works with something else. But yeah, I think most people probably are buying this for the Switch, or for, you have like a bunch of ROMs on your PC and stuff. This is a great controller. The only problem I have with this guy, it also has I mean, you can use this with any Switch game. What's really cool, as you can tell, if you look closely, these are literally the same joysticks that are on a PS4 controller. The same ones. I mean, they're freaking identical. Look at that. That's cool. That's kind of crazy. I'm surprised they let them do that. I guess they don't have it patented. But yeah, so this is an awesome controller. Of course, you know, if you are playing something like Overwatch, Doom, stuff like that, Wolfenstein on your Switch, you probably don't want to use this controller, right? Because the joysticks are functional, of course. You know, I play like Mario Odyssey, and you can play Splatoon and stuff like that on it, and it does have full motion controls as well. I will say none of these have the NFC, you know, readers, the Amiibo readers on them, because that's like a patented Nintendo thing. But you know, you might be saying this is just it's a little plinky if I'm going to be using it for everything. Well, I have your solution. Let me show you my favorite controller for the Nintendo Switch. Are you ready for this? Look at this guy. Bada bing, bada boom. It solutionifies your entire problems. Yeah, I'm making up words because I can, because it's a free country, sort of. Yeah, so if you notice, it is basically this controller. It's also 8BitDo. Awesome company. Again, you probably have to order it from Amazon, but it's this, but it's got the guys. It's got the grips on each side. That's pretty awesome. Also both of these have the home buttons and the share buttons and everything down on the bottom. Boom, boom, there. Boom, boom, there. What's cool about this one too is it's got a rechargeable battery that comes with it. This was a awesome birthday present actually from my awesome wife Heather, friend. Thanks, babe. I love it. I love it. But yeah, so this was I've been messing with this for a couple of days. It's probably my favorite Switch controller. It has, because you can, another problem I had with this guy is, listen to this. That is a very, very clicky button. Face buttons are so clicky. The D-pad is great, but those face buttons, man, it's almost got this like hollowness to the inside of this controller, whereas face buttons are much quieter on this guy, and so is the D-pad, and it feels a lot better. And then yeah, these both have amazing D-pads. The best D-pad you can probably get without, you know, an actual SNES controller. But yeah, so this is the SN30 Pro Plus. That's what it's called. This guy is it's like, what are they doing with these names? SF30 Pro gamepad. So the SF30 and the SN30. Okay, just, you know, can we get better names for stuff? Thanks. Anyways, I love this controller. It's awesome. I think that it's kind of a little bit for everybody, especially if you're looking to get into the retro thing, but you still want that controller that's like all around, so you can like go play your Dooms, play your Doomies, and then hop over and play some Mega Man on your Mega Man collection, and you're all set, man. So totally recommend the SN30 Pro Plus Ultra Edition, however many other words and letters we can add on to that. But that's awesome. I mean, I love it. Both the SN30 and the SF30 are $50 versus the $70 that the Pro controller is. It's a pretty easy kind of decision for me, but you know, of course, you can't just go down to Best Buy and get these. You do have to order them off the intranets. But in this day and age, that's all we're doing anyway, isn't it? Hey, all right, cool. Well, hey, thanks for you guys sitting around and watching me talk about these controllers. My favorite one, totally recommend SN30 Plus Extra Extreme Edition, 1994. I love you. God bless. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and give me a little kiss in the comments. Have a good night, and see you next time. Adios.